Hey everybody, Derrick Silvers here. Welcome to Now You Know with Derrick Silvers. This is my podcast and it is about real estate. So if you want to know about real estate, this is the podcast you need to listen to. I just want to go over a couple things real quick. The market is still doing well, contrary to what you hear on the news. But let's talk about some things that are obviously on people's mind. One of those things being the interest rates. The interest rates are supposedly high. And I know you say supposedly, those things are high. We got definitely spoiled a couple years ago with 2 to 3% interest rates. To me, that was like free money. But if you look at a couple things, I was talking to a mortgage broker and explaining to a client that, when you go get a credit card, some of those rates are pretty high, right? And you don't argue that, you just get the credit card. Or if you go to buy a car, the interest rate may be, something that you don't want to accept, but you accept it, right? So but then people, when they want to buy a house, they're like, well, no, I'm not going to buy a house. And I know, yes, it's a much higher price tag, and I understand that. But if you look at what it cost you to live, there is interest involved in most people's cases to how much it costs them to live. And so if you look at that 7%, 6%, it's probably higher. And actually, he explained that it was higher, but I don't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was in the 7 to 10 range. So it's kind of along the lines with what people pay to live anyway when it comes to borrowing money. I don't know if that helps you or not, but it made sense to me. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it cost me, this for a credit card, cost me this for a car. And so when it comes to a house, though, why would it be any different? And so, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback in the interest rates. We just saw one last week. And historically, over 2 years, or after 2 years, that's when the interest rates really start to change. So 2 years ago is when the interest rates started going up. And actually, in the housing market, we're usually a little bit ahead of that trajectory. And so we saw the rates start to inflate, as that was going along. Excuse me, before everything else started to go up, and now we're starting to see them to go down. They are predicting. I think about predictions. If I could predict the future, I'd be a billionaire. Maybe I'd be doing a podcast. Maybe selling real estate. I don't know. Maybe I'd be on an island somewhere. But we are seeing a pullback, and March of 2024 will be the 2-year mark from when they started to go up. So hopefully we're going to get a reprieve. Hopefully they're going to have a little bit of a pullback. The other thing is insurances. And yes, the insurances are high. But, I want to tell you, people move to Florida for a reason. We get breaks on certain taxes. It's a great place to live climate-wise. And so, people are seeing the value of Florida. And yes, I grew up here, so I'm looking at the housing prices. I'm going, man, this is high. I'm looking at, the taxes, thinking, yeah, this is high. Looking at the insurances, yeah, this is high. But is it? I mean, it is, but if you compare it to certain places in the United States, maybe it's not. And also, other people are seeing the value of Florida, so they want to be here. And, downtown St. Petersburg, whether you like development or not, I do, not just because of a real estate standpoint, but I like bigger cities. It's amazing. Like, to me, that they've made it an incredible city, one of the best cities in the nation, arguably, as far as I'm concerned. And then our beaches have always been top rated. Clearwater and St. Pete historically are high on the list, sometimes number one in the nation, according to some statistics. And now they're doing incredible development in those places as well. And, development brings also great restaurants. So the eating, I think, is much better. Go back to downtown St. Pete, one of the most walkable cities in the entire nation. I think there's more bars and restaurants in 1 square mile than any other city. Fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Let's get into some stats. So obviously we're a little bit behind. This is December, but we have the stats for October. So you can kind of, as you continue to listen to the podcast, which I hope you do, make sure you like and subscribe. You're gonna see some trajectory going on through me doing more of these podcasts. And so in October, we saw active listings jump up 9%. So yes, you're going to see more listings coming on the market. There's less buyers in the market right now because of the interest rates, and also we're in that holiday season, and so we sometimes see a pullback when that happens. New listings went up 17%. As I said, there's more listings going on the market. Pending sales were still up 11% in October, and then listings sold was down 5%. And, we're getting more into a balanced market. Sometimes we are seeing bidding wars, and sometimes we are seeing, places selling within one day. But now we're kind of back into that 30 to 60 day mark. That's what I tell people is like, hey, if we're not going to be the best price house in the area, and we're maybe right on the money or a little bit high, because a lot of people like to list a little bit high for negotiation purposes. Okay, we'll do that strategy. If it's within the realm, I usually say yes. Let's go ahead and list it. So if that happens, then you might see 30 to 60 days for your place to go under contract. Let's dial into the stats a little bit more. In November, we saw 2,191 active single-family homes on the market. We saw 2,029 active condos. We saw 490 pending condos and 891 single-family homes pending in the month of November. That was for Pinellas County. In Hillsborough County, we see 3,189 single-family homes, 588 condos, 1,773 single-family homes pending, and 196 condos. And so, Tampa definitely has a bigger market for single-family homes and less for condos. The reason for that is because being on the Gulf, we have much more condos in Pinellas County over the Hillsborough market. Speaking of condos, back to that milestone inspection I spoke about last month, condos that are 25 years old have to have the milestone inspection. And what that is because of what happened in Miami, they have to make sure that the building is structurally sound. I just sold 2 condos, one on the beach and one on Island Estates, and both the condos were fine. They were 30 years old. The milestone inspection was no big deal. The place was structurally sound, and we're seeing that in a lot of condos. Now, on the flip side, you are seeing in some condos large assessments, and that is because of the structural soundness of the property. And the good news is that they're making those repairs. The not so great news sometimes is there's large assessments. And so as working with buyers, we make sure that one, we see if any assessments are coming up in the association. And a great way to safeguard this in case there is no assessments on the books is you get the last 6 months of the minutes. So you want to know what the association is talking about and if there's any chatter of a possible assessment. And you also want to know if they haven't had the milestone inspections, when they're going to have that done. And maybe you tailor your closing or your closing till when they get that done. And, that's a way to safeguard. You can only do as much as you can do. As a listing agent, we make sure that the sellers just disclose everything, because you disclose what you know that materially affects the value of the property. And obviously that's a big deal that could affect the value of the property. And also, more than that, it could affect the monthly condo maintenance fee. All right, those were the stats and some extra information. Now, it wouldn't be my podcast if I didn't go over my listings. The first one I want to go over is on Clearwater Beach. It's listed for $1.55 million. It is 1,800 square feet, built in 2006, so they haven't had the milestone report. It's on the 7th floor, has beautiful sunrise views, and you can see out to the water from the kitchen, dining, living room combination. You also have sliders and views from the primary bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's a great community. This one comes with 2 boat slips. One has a 24,000-pound lift. The other one will accommodate a 33-foot boat. The reason why I say 33 is because that's what the association will allow. And then also at the pool, what's really neat is there's only 10 cabanas, and it's not a cabana in the traditional sense. It's basically like a storage unit, and it's a good size. And what the current owners do is they keep their pool supplies and their boating supplies inside the unit. There's also a hookup or a electrical outlet, and so they keep a little refrigerator in there. That way they don't have to go back up their unit to have cold drinks. Next, I want to talk about my condo in Terra Verde. It's 2,000 square feet, built in 2000. They are talking about doing some of the milestone reviews at some point. It's got 2 pools. It has a tennis court, lined for pickleball, which is my favorite. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and this also has sunrise views and a view of the Skyway Bridge, which at night, if you're on your balcony, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's on the 4th floor, so you can see the Skyway in the distance. And like I said, when it's lit up at night, it's just a magnificent view, gorgeous condo. I also want to talk about my listing in Tampa. It's 2,400 square feet. What I love about this property is that it's kind of like a country type home when you walk up, and it's got a large front porch with a swing, kind of got that homey feel. Down the street, well, about 3 houses down, you've got a beautiful pond. with lights, with water feature that lights up at night, and benches where you can sit and overlook the water. Then when you go to the back of the property, which is my favorite, it's got a gorgeous pool, and then it's got it's screened in, and it goes all the way up to the second floor. Then off the primary bedroom and another bedroom, you have sun decks. Well, one's a sun deck, I'll say, and the other one's basically a veranda. But it's really cool. You can go out there and have your morning coffee, overlook the nature in the backyard and the pool, and then the pool lit up at night, amazing. The last thing I want to mention about this place is it has 4 French doors that one leads out to the front porch, and then 3 lead out to the pool from the back, from the dining room, the kitchen, and another room, which could be like a family room, which I think is super cozy. It's got a fireplace, and then it's got volume ceilings with wood paneling. Last but certainly not least, I want to go over my listing in Indian Rocks Beach. This is the only completed brand new home build on the entire West Coast that's on the beach and has a boat slip. It is super unique. You're not going to find another property like this. It's a little over 5,800 square feet, heated square feetage. Square feetage. Okay, I'm not even going to edit that, or you can just have that one. And then 9,500 under roof. And the reason why I mention that is because the owners lived on the beach, and a lot of times the sun, when it gets to a certain spot, when the sun's going down, it's just beating you down. And he makes verandas that are 15 feet at least in depth. And the reason for that is because you've got some more time as the sun's going down for you not to be beating down on you and so hot. And so by the time it gets to the point where it's covering the whole porch or veranda, whatever you want to call it, then it's a little bit cooler. It's a little bit later in the day. Obviously, it's brand new. It's contemporary. It's right on the beautiful sands of Indian Rocks Beach. And again, you have a deeded boat slip across the street on the intercoastal, which you try to find one. I promise you can't do it, because you can't have boat slips that go out into the Gulf. And if you can, it's not in this area. But the only other place is in Clearwater Beach in the North End, and those places never come available. And then the Panhandle has some. No, you know what? I take that back. The Panhandle, I checked. They do not have any that have boat slips. So super unique property, absolutely gorgeous. I want to thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope you liked and subscribed. I hope you want to hear stats. I hope you want to hear about my listings, because it's my podcast. And if you do, obviously, I'm open to any comments, questions. Please let me know. I want to thank everybody who has done business with me in the past as well. I really appreciate all your business. I want to talk real about the company I work with, Coastal Properties. They are just a class act. When I ran a team before, and when I came back, the reason why I joined the team that I'm on, our team for you, with Richard Hale, is because he was with Coastal Properties, and I saw a ton of other agents that I respected join Coastal Properties, and there's a reason for that. They have a marketing team. The owners are accessible. It's not so big that you're lost and can't get to talk to anyone you want for answers. And then I joined the team that I'm on because Richard Hale's been doing business for 40 years. He taught me my first how to work with buyers class 10 years ago when I first got in the business. I always respected him as what he did, and he has all of the systems set up. We've got a director of operations that keeps us in line as far as paperwork is concerned, and in other areas of our life as well. And then we have incredible agents that work on the team. One more thing about Coastal Properties. When we have our monthly meeting, we don't just talk about stats and real estate, mortgages, all those type of things. We talk about mindset. We talk about positive mindset. We talk about diet. We talk about things that help us be a better person. And when I'm a better person, then I can better serve you. So thank you for listening to Now You Know with Derrick Silvers. We'll see you next time.